Welcome. My name is Johannes Nicolai. I'm Lead Integration Architect at CollabNet, and I will lead you through the HP CollabNet ALM Partnership live demonstration today. Before we directly dive into the live demo, let's spend 1 minute on its agenda. As you can take from this slide, our live demo will show work and ALM workflows across 3 different systems, namely HP Quality Center, CollabNet TeamForge, and one of CollabNet's desktop integrations. CollabNet provides desktop integrations to Eclipse as well as to Visual Studio, but in this example we will focus on the Eclipse integration with CollabNet TeamForge. What you can also take from the slide is that we will switch into different roles that all participate in the ALM lifecycle. We will start the live demo with Joe, our Scrum Master, who will typically work in HP Quality Center and is responsible to decide which artifacts from the Agile backlog should be moved in the next sprint. Once Joe has decided what should be moved in the next sprint, Paul, our dev lead, can take the lead in CollabNet TeamForge and can break these user stories into tasks and can assign these tasks to individual developers. Jennifer is such a developer. She works in the Eclipse IDE, and she will use the CollabNet Desktop Eclipse Edition integration to modify these development tasks and also communicate with other stakeholders of this ALM lifecycle. In this example, she will communicate with Kathy, the business analyst. Kathy is mainly responsible to create these user stories and do the initial estimation of these user stories. So whenever Jennifer wants to change these estimates, she has to talk to Kathy, and both of them will stay in their favorite environments and are still able to talk to each other using this integration. In step 5, Jennifer will then create a defect within Eclipse and will commit code for this defect in a Subversion repository. This association between defect and code is shown in TeamForge as well as in Quality Center. Paul, the dev lead, will add another association between a defect and the development task created by him. And finally, Rahul, our test lead within the HP Quality Center universe, will update this defect. Let's start with step 1 of our demo. Step 1 is performed by Scrum Master Joe, who will move a user story from the Agile backlog into a sprint, meaning that this user story is now ready for development. In order to do so, we will switch into the requirement module of HP Quality Center. Please note that this example is targeted to show Agile development. However, this integration is not limited to Agile development at all. In fact, you can use any requirement type you want. For this example, we have chosen the requirement types provided by the HP Agile Accelerator. So we have a requirement type for products, for releases, for the backlog, as well as for user stories. If we click on this user story, we will find out that the initial estimation has been done by Kathy, our business analyst, and that there is already sufficient information in order to start this task. So let's just move this artifact from the release backlog folder into sprint 1. We just drag it and drop it to sprint 1. Once this is done, it will not only be moved within HP Quality Center, but also within TeamForge. So if we switch to TeamForge and look at the planning folder there, you can see that's still assigned in the backlog folder. But if we refresh our view, no result is found in the release backlog folder, and this is because we have just moved the artifact into sprint 1. So we can now see our HP CollabNet demo user story within sprint 1 and have a look at its properties there as well. Let's proceed with step 2 of our demo. This step is performed by development lead Paul, who will now take the user story from sprint 1 and breaks it down into development tasks. This is done within CollabNet TeamForge. So let's switch into CollabNet TeamForge. Breaking down a user story is done by switching to the Dependencies tab of the user story and create child artifacts within the task tracker. So we just create a new child within the task tracker here, and we call this artifact HP CollabNet demo dev task. We will also assign it to a developer group, and we will choose dev team 1 for this purpose. The estimated effort of this development task should be 3 hours, the remaining effort as well. After we click on Save in View, this artifact will be created in TeamForge, and if we look at the HP Quality Center side, it will be created there as well. After Paul created the development task, Jennifer, our developer working in Eclipse, can now starting working on this development task. She does so by using the Eclipse integration provided by CollabNet. We will now switch into CollabNet Desktop Eclipse Edition and use the Eclipse CollabNet perspective for our purposes. As you can see on the left-hand side, Jennifer can view and modify all ALM artifacts stored within TeamForge, so discussion items, documents, file releases, source code, tasks, trackers, and of course, very important for this demo, planning folders. If we double-click on Sprint 1, this will call the TeamForge Web Services in the background so that we are able to retrieve the HP CollabNet demo user story created by Kathy, which has been moved by Joe, our Scrum Master, to Sprint 1, and then broken down into development tasks by Paul, our development lead. Now Jennifer double-clicks on it and we'll have a look at its properties. Jennifer thinks that 3 hours are actually not sufficient in order to complete this task, so she will change the estimated effort to 5 and sets the original estimated effort to 3 here. She also has a reason for this change, and she will enter this reason into the comment field, and her reason is that she has to fix a related defect in the core product first. Once she has entered this comment, she can click on Submit, and this change will be submitted to CollabNet TeamForge and will also show up in the comments field within HP Quality Center. In step 4, Kathy, our business analyst, comes into play. She did the initial estimation for the user story and is especially interested in any changes of this estimation. As it happened that Jennifer changed this estimation, she got an email and will now look into HP Quality Center what has changed and what the exact reason for this change was. So she will refresh the view within HP Quality Center and then take a look at the created development tasks. As you can see in the comment section, Jennifer commented that she has to fix the related defect in the core product first. However, Kathy thinks that this change should be done in a separate defect and not as part of this development task. So she will reset the current estimated effort to 3 hours and will ask Jennifer to create a separate defect for this. So the comment is, please file a separate defect for this. After she clicks on Submit, this change will show up as well in TeamForge as well as in Eclipse Desktop Edition integrated to TeamForge. In step 5, Jennifer gets the notification from CollabNet's Eclipse plugin that Kathy has changed the estimate of the development task again. So she will go into Eclipse and will find out that Kathy asks her to file a separate defect for the 2 missing hours Jennifer needed in order to complete this development task. So Jennifer will now do exactly this. She will go to the defects tracker and create a new defect. She will call the new defect HP CollabNet demo defect. She will assign 2 hours to this defect, and this description is, Kathy, this is the related defect. After she clicks on submit, this defect will be created within TeamForge, and from there it will be picked up by the integration and will be created as a defect in HP Quality Center's defect module as well. Creating a defect, of course, is not sufficient. You also have to fix the defect. So Jennifer first activates this defect for the Mylan plugin, saying that she is now working on this defect. If she now switches to the Java perspective, she can select the Subversion repository and open the Java class she has to fix and do the actual change needed in order to fix this defect. Once this is done, Jennifer can use CollabNet's Subversion plugin to commit the change against the defect she has just created. If she clicks on submit, you will notice that the artifact number is already part of the commit message. This allows TeamForge to automatically associate this defect with the Subversion commit. So we just enter a commit message and click on OK. And now this is checked into Subversion and associated to the defect just created within TeamForge.